Coming up on the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Toyota and Bet365, Brazier dominates as the opener. Sean Kelly homer, 4-0 Cubs. Maybe we'll just stop there. A real royal bummer tonight. CHGO Cubs next. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? This is the CHGO Cubs podcast driven by Toyota. Let's go places and Bet365, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary. Use the code CHGO365 at sign-up. The Royals crush the Cubs at Wrigley Field. Not a good one for the Cubs. Up 4-1, you got 11 unanswered runs from a bad Kansas City Royals team that is 4 games under the 500 mark entering this one. A rough night for the Cubs and Ben Brown. Luke Stuckmeyer, Kevin Wells with you. Sarah running the 1s and 2s. Hi to everybody in the live YouTube chat here at the all-new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, give us a thumbs up. We'd appreciate it. Chat's rolling. A lot of people angry. A lot of people done with Ben Brown at the moment, which is understandable. It was a rough game, and certainly he struggled in this one. The Cubs' offense also struggled at times after that quick. Kevin, you thought 4-1 against the Royals. I thought they were going to cruise.
Felt great about it. Matt Shaw crushing his second Wrigley homer in a couple days here. He seems to be getting it going with the bat. It felt pretty good. It was a really nice piece of hitting. Guys on base, a 3-run homer. This Royals team is horrendous offensively. They don't hit home runs. They don't score runs. They're one of the worst teams in the league with guys on base.
Yeah.
And they just put up a season-high 12 runs on you. That's pretty unacceptable stuff, man. Really tough game.
A lot of home runs. The Cubs have been in first place since April 4th when they beat the Padres. This won't be over by the time we finish this live podcast. If the Brewers were to win tonight, this would be the first time the Cubs would be out of first place since April 3rd.
Yeah, and technically right now a half game out, right?
Sure, so, technically for at least a couple hours they're going to be out of first place, but they have either led or co-shared the division lead since April 4th. Obviously the Brewers are red hot, but here's my thing. You have the series with the Brewers coming up next week. We know that's going to be a critical point in the season, one of them. Next week is, if you want to circle a week on your calendar for big weeks, next week's a big one, a real big one, with the trade deadline coming, with the Brewers series going on. But this one is just as important. You've got to remember, you've got the Royals and you've got the White Sox, a Royals team that's 4 games under the 500 mark entering the night, 12 games out of first place. Then you have the White Sox, 25 games out of first, and just 35 wins on the season. I've said it multiple times when they had the stretch against the White Sox and Rockies earlier this year. I would like to see double sweep. Clearly that's not happening right now because they just lost the first one to the Royals. You got to win 5 of those 6. You have to win 5 of those 6. You can't. 4-2 against those two teams would not be enough with the way the Brewers are playing right now.
The good thing is the Cubs have lost 3 in a row, only twice this year.
Mm-hmm.
Usually they respond better after losses.
They do.
They've lost at least 2 in a row. I counted 9 times this year, but only 3 in a row twice. So, hopefully tomorrow you can rebound and try to still salvage a series win on Wednesday, but let's get to tomorrow first. I mean, this is a game that losses happen, and no one. I'm not panicking. You're not panicking.
No,
it's fine. Losses happen, but uncompetitive losses to bad teams are frustrating, and this can be another one that you can file away. I know the Twins series I sat on here and I said I was frustrated, and This game's even more frustrating because it's at home, and you just laid down. I mean, it was the 5th or 6th inning that the wheels fell off, and we'll talk about Ben Brown in a moment here, but the wheels fell off. You made a couple errors defensively. Baseball happened. Soft contact happened. You're only down 3 runs with several more at-bats to go, and it was just fly out, fly out, fly out, and nothing to show for it. In the 9th inning, you had a couple base runners. You had a little bit of life, but not nearly enough. I mean, a 3-run lead against a team that struggles offensively should not have been enough to just put out your flame just like that. So I am a little disappointed in the comeback, the lack of comeback in the later innings tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Ben Brown making his first start or appearance since June 23rd when he gave up 8 earned runs in 5 innings against the Cardinals. Tonight's game, 4 innings, 7 hits, 7 runs, 6 of them earned, 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, it's been a rough go.
I mean, the chat has pretty much said it all. I'm not going to go as far as some people are going. Vanilla Chill says Ben Brown just sucks the energy out of the building. We did have a Toyota Super Chat, I believe, from our guy Steven. $2 enough of Ben Brown for 2025. I'll leave the last part off. Thank you for the Super Chat, Steven. Listen, it's been a rough go. He went down to Iowa to try and work on some things. The first thing that was disappointing was the first home run when he's got 2 strikes on the guy.
I know.
Right? Like, I don't know what's going on there, but when he leaves the ball over the plate, it gets hit hard. And I know I'm not going to disagree with what Boog and JD were saying during the broadcast. The 4-run inning was not a ton of hard-hit baseballs.
A lot of soft contact, yes.
I mean, the Cubs also played a sloppy game. There was a lot of iffy defense. He included some of that, just kind of throwing his glove down there, costing himself a little help on the infield. But you also have to overcome those things. Like 4 runs in an inning is still a big inning. And the balls that he left over the plate were hit hard and deserved to be hit hard.
The home run to Salvador Perez. Perez's first home run was a really, really bad pitch. The home run to Caglione was a breaking ball off the outer edge of the plate, and Caglione just put a really nice swing on it and dropped it into the basket out there. So I'm less upset about that. But yeah, I mean, it's still too much of the plate with 2 strikes. The whole ball was still in the strike zone. Yes, it was on the outer half, but you need to be more effective with the fastball. The fastball command just was not there again tonight, and too many breaking balls in the middle of the plate. He did try the changeup a few times. I know that's a work in progress. I know he was working on that in Iowa, but it's still not good enough. And he's not a major league pitcher right now. And regression is hard to see, and it's hard to watch because we have seen so many great flashes of Ben Brown the last 2 years. He's had some outstanding starts. But the last 2 months have been really rough. The hard contact it's too much to be put in a major league game. And this was the perfect opportunity for him to get back into the major leagues against an offense that does not hit the ball hard. They don't have hits with guys on. They're second to last in the league in home runs. They've only put the ball over the wall 80 times this year. I mean, this was a great landing spot and an opportunity for Brown to get his feet back on track, and he just didn't do it tonight. And I think that tells you that, and it tells the organization, hey, there's still some stuff we have to work on. No walks tonight. The contact and the 2-strike approach was not good enough, and he's going to have to go back to Iowa to work on things. I don't know when that will be, but I would imagine that tonight was a pretty big indication to the Cubs front office, like, hey, there's still some work to do here. And no, he's not going to be DFA'd. I don't know what his trade value is. I don't think.
Well, you'd be trading really low right now.
Right, and I'm not sure I'm sure teams are going to ask about other pitchers in the organization first. But in terms of Ben Brown, the Cub, you might have to wait until next year to really see him start to take off, because I think when the trades happen here in the next couple of weeks, or in the next week or so, we're already almost to the end of August, I don't know if there's a spot for Ben Brown. I don't think there will be.
Well, it's really disappointing, and it's almost, I'm not going to say shocking. Our guy Gary Ross saying in the live YouTube chat on Brown should be on a bus to Iowa tonight. Didn't necessarily pitch well at Iowa. I don't always look at the Iowa stats and put 100% behind him, because if a guy's working on something and they're saying don't worry about the results, then that's why he's there. So it's sort of a spring training in that way.
Exactly.
However, going into the season, I had two guys I was looking at for breakout seasons. One was PCA, and wow, have we gotten that, even above and beyond anything anybody expected. And the other was Ben Brown. On the pitching side, I think everybody thought Ben Brown was going to be that guy. Now, Porter Hodge was in that mix. A lot of people saw, but if you were talking about a starter, even more than Cade Horton, I think a lot of people thought Ben Brown was going to be that guy and that he could take a jump and be a frontline starter before it was all said and done with the Cubs. I agree. I'm not sure what people think his role, specifically the Cubs, what you think his role should be the rest of the season. Right now, I would agree. Back to Iowa. I always thought that the floor for Ben Brown this season was, wow, Cade Horton came up, did some special stuff. They would, at this point I was thinking, all right, you've got all of your starters, nobody's hurt. And I'm thinking, well, Ben Brown, could he end up being their closer? Could he end up being like just a wicked piece in the bullpen? And frankly, right now, that seems like a long shot. Like, not just a big piece of the bullpen, a piece of the bullpen right now seems like a long shot. Is that too pessimistic after this game?
No, I don't think he's anywhere close to that closer role. I don't even think.
No. I agree with that. Like, closer role, forget that. But like a valuable piece in the bullpen, like someone you could mix in because he throws hard. I don't know. I mean, it's a different way of using somebody, but boy, when it gets away from him and you're seeing like the pass balls and the wild pitches and some of the body language on the mound, I don't know if he's on the roster when you're playing meaningful games at the end.
That's kind of where I'm at too. I don't know. It's too early to tell. I think he's still going to get some run and he's still going to get some opportunities in the big leagues. I don't think he's not going to be stricken to the minor leagues forever, and I don't know when he's going to go back down, if and when he goes back down. Because despite things like tonight, it's easy to have recency bias, right? Like the last 5 starts have not been great. 7 hits, 9 hits, 6 hits, 8 hits, lots of runs, earned runs, home runs. I know that all of that can happen, but the strikeout numbers are still good. The walk numbers aren't horrendous. So there is value to how Craig Counsell views pitching, right? He views pitching as outgetters and matchups. So do I think that there's a role for Ben Brown? I think there could be, depending on, ask me in a week after the deadline acquisitions are made and the bullpen shakes out, then we will kind of feel and look at where guys will be slotted in. I don't know.
But what do you do? Do you send him down to Iowa and say, you know what? The starting thing isn't happening this year. Go down and let's shorten you up and see if we can turn you into a bullpen piece the rest of the season.
I tend to think so. I tend to think that might be the move, and then the Iowa season ends, and maybe you consider, it's the thing. Like, there's the rosters in playoffs are only 26 guys, and I think the Cubs are in the
playoffs.
No. Yeah, the Cubs are in a position where they're probably going to add 2 to 3 starting pitchers, right? So Ben Brown's probably one of the last guys. If you're being sent back to Iowa in the middle of the season, chances are your leash is a little bit shorter. So it was a tough night for him tonight. It's been a really tough season for him. Again, regression is hard to watch, especially when he had so many nice moments last year and there was a couple good starts this year. But yeah, I think it's not quite time to be like, all right, pull the plug. You're not pitching in the major leagues the rest of the year. But tonight's a pretty big indication that there's still a lot he has to work on.
Another Toyota super chat real quick from our guy. Steven says, thank you for mentioning Brown's body language. He's terrible. Most of the time he looks like he's aloof and not competitive. The only thing, I do mention it. Like he's obviously frustrated and he doesn't know what to do, and that's his way of, not everybody has emotion. I will say that. Kyle Hendricks had the same look on his face when he was pitching on the mound all the time, and obviously was really, really good for a long period of time. All right, we're going to talk more about this Cubs loss to the Royals. We'll talk about the trade deadline. I want to know in the live YouTube chat, what did you think of Seiya in center field tonight? But first, a word from our sponsors.
Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you win $5. Win or lose, sign up. Use the code CHGO365. Deposit $10. Place a bet for $5. Get $150 in bonus bets. With the Bet365 early payout offer on MLB bets, you're a winner if your team goes up 5 runs ahead with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. So just download the app. Use the code CHGO365 when you sign up. And breaking news from Bet365, Luke. New customers, $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code CHGO365, put down 10, bet 5, get $150 in bonus bets. Bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 and up. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in the app only.
Just like your favorite team needs the home field advantage, your home needs a home flooring advantage, and Empire Today can help you get it. Empire Today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals. We've all been to the big box store. They might have a flooring department, but the person helping you might have been selling sinks yesterday. They could be stocking light bulbs tomorrow. Empire Today lives and breathes flooring. They're going to be with you every step of the way. Clear, upfront, all-inclusive pricing, plus you can schedule that installation as soon as the next day. So schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners, pay attention, $350 off. That's the discount when you use the promo code CHGO. You heard me right, 350 bones off with the code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details. 588-2300 Empire
Today.
Cubs lose 11 straight unanswered runs from the Kansas City Royals to club the Cubs at Wrigley Field. A rough start to this series. We just talked about Ben Brown. Disappointing night. It's been a disappointing season. Disappointing stretch. I saw David Snyder in the live YouTube chat says pull the damn plug on Brown already. You mentioned, by the way, in our ad break, we were talking about diehards. We do have a diehard event coming up.
Yes, we do.
That we want to remind people about. This is a diehard exclusive. So right now, this is only available if you're a diehard. We're going to do a rooftop takeover for the Cubs and Pirates next month, August 15th. We'll start 10 a.m. at Murphy's Bleachers, and then your ticket will include all food and drink included at the rooftop. And it's going to be the one, I think it's the last one or one of the last that is not owned by the Cubs, still privately owned. It's right next to the firehouse. It's going to be a good time. So for the diehards out there, circle that date on your calendar and get your tickets.
By the way, I had a lot of fun in the chat today talking with the diehards in the Discord.
The old Discord?
Yeah, I hopped in for the first time in a while. I was really, I really never talked in there much, and was really, really fun talking trade deadline stuff. I can tell it's going to be a fun week in there just because everyone has so many ideas and names and trade proposals, and it was really fun getting to know all you guys and really fun to talk baseball with you. I'll be in there the rest of the week. I had a blast with it, so hope to see more of you in there as we get closer to the deadline here.
Absolutely. It is time for our Taking the Temp segment. Your trusted local experts, Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. It's only supposed to be like 125 degrees on Wednesday and humid, so, it might be a good time to have your air conditioning checked out. Just letting people know.
It's going to be hot tomorrow and Wednesday.
So PCA was out and not in the lineup because of a bruise/swollen knee from a slide in yesterday's game. And I guess that's not the shocking thing. For me, when I found out Seiya was in center field, I just looked around and said, what?
Yeah, I think we all did.
And so then it was looking up, has Seiya ever played center field? I guess he did in some Cactus League games, but in his professional career, never in the big leagues has he ever played center field. And only once when he was playing in Japan did he ever play center field. So I just couldn't believe that he was in center field. And the bigger question for me is, if you're playing a guy who's never played, first of all, he's not a great right fielder, and so that's why he's the DH now. Having a terrific season, but not a great defensive right fielder. Center field seems way more difficult. And in addition to center field, I thought that was the reason that Bruján was on this team. That he could play multiple positions, but mostly because he was your backup plan at center field if you had to give a day or two off to Pete Crow Armstrong. So if Bruján is batting 179 with 3 RBI, and he's not your answer in center field, how long is that roster spot going to stay that way? Seems like a really nice guy. I just don't see how you can afford to have that luxury.
Yeah, the Vidal Bruján thing, man, I'm not sure what we're doing here. I know he's going to be DFA'd soon, but he's the only backup outfielder on the team, so it shows you, hey, man, we can't have you playing all 9 innings. You are a complete liability in the lineup. That's essentially what it says by throwing Seiya out there. So the Bruján thing has days left. He's not going to be a Cub in a couple of weeks here. He might not be a Cub by the end of next week. I'm not sure how he's made it this far, because let's be honest, I know that the speed is a thing. He is fast, but just because you're fast doesn't mean you're a great base runner either. And I mean, there's been nothing really substantial.
I can't think of anything he's done this season. This is not anything against him. Just sitting here right now, I can't come up with a play where I say, that was a big play for the Cubs.
There's been a couple plays at third that have been like, nice, good play, good short hop pickup, throw to first. Okay. But he can't hit. He's not an ideal defender. At second base, he gives you a little bit of depth there, but so does Matt Shaw. When you go and trade for a third baseman, Matt Shaw can back up second base too.
Yeah.
And Matt Shaw can run the bases better. And, oh, by the way, Matt Shaw can hit the ball over the fence. Not a lot, but he can do it more than – Matt Shaw can take over that role. There's no need to have Vidal Bruján on the roster anymore, and I don't know. I'm just not sure how he's still on the team, to be honest with you. Again, I don't want to be rude. This is the Cubs just had the best record in baseball on Saturday. You would think that they would have been maybe trying to find another guy, or maybe trying to bring up a guy from AAA that would have made more sense, and I understand the whole argument with that bats. If a guy comes up, you want him to play. I know that's Jed and Council's MO, and it makes sense. I'm not disagreeing with it, but the Vidal Bruján thing, it's got to be over, and it's got to be over soon. It just, the fact that he didn't start today shows you that we're getting there. You know, that there's the leash has run out.
Yeah. I see people in the chat mentioning the summer of Mike Tauchman and the summer of Mike Tauchman 2. It's funny because when Seiya was in the lineup, that's the first thing I was asking the Sox guys, like, what's up with Tauchman this year? I'm not watching White Sox baseball. And their first thing was, well, I'm sure he'd be available, but you just need to know he can't play center field anymore. His legs are too beat up this year with injuries that he can't play center field. So that brings me back to that's less exciting than I was saying, I'd rather have Tauchman than Vidal Bruján if you can pull a small trade there with the White Sox. But they're saying his legs are no good. Yes, he can provide you the bat, but body-wise, he's not going to be your backup center fielder.
Yeah, that's interesting and also disappointing. I know
so he can't run.
Tauchman's having a wonderful year right now on the south side of Chicago. 1.5 WAR player. He's batting .289. His OPS plus 136. His OPS right now, 847 for Mike Tauchman. Mike Tauchman's having an awesome year. That's a bummer that that the injuries are there, because he's a guy that a lot of White Sox. Yeah, I would absolutely welcome him back if he could play the position. He played a pretty darn good center field for the Cubs last year, and
he gives you games that way.
And he fits the MO of the team. Great at bats too, but. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Cubs will be on the lookout for more bats. I think they're definitely going to be on the lookout for a backup center fielder. I think they will be on the lookout for any help offensively that they can get. There's not one. I know the offense has been great this year. I know it's been the best in baseball, but there's not going to be one specific section of the team that they should not look to upgrade. And I certainly now you're looking at Seiya played well in center field today. I think that's a positive, and I think it's professional
from him. Caught a ball at the wall that I didn't think was going to be caught, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Seiya's now played all 3 outfield positions this year. I think that's good and impressive, but it's not something you want to rely on when the moments get brighter and the lights get bigger because, again, the track record. When the lights were big in Atlanta and you needed that series, the ball was dropped. And
it would terrify me in a critical game late in the season or postseason that you would have to slide him to center field and put him in at defense.
And you have to think, too, that there will be outfielders available at the deadline.
Well, Gary Ross in the live YouTube chat, diehard superstar, Gary Ross has been pushing for Willie Castro, and almost as hard as he used to push for Jake Slaughter. Not quite the Slaughter level yet, Gary, but he loves Willie Castro, and I'm kind of with him on this one. He could be your guy in center field. He could be your infield backup. Willie Castro is not like a name that's going to catch most people around baseball that are casual fans and say, well, look at the big move. This is who they added. But it is a guy that could cover some bases and certainly would be an upgrade from what you're getting from Brujan right now.
Yes.
And depending on what the Cubs do with third base, if they were to add a big piece at third base, then I like the fact that Matt Shaw could play multiple positions and start to play the birdie role.
Yep.
And some other ways of moving that around too.
That lengthens your lineup, right? Like that's the goal, to have rookies and guys who are situationally valuable and guys who run the bases well. And Matt Shaw has been an excellent defender at third base. Made another excellent play today with the glove on the short hop, throwing a first off balance.
Yeah, it was really nice.
That is valuable, man. That is a huge value to a team when you need late inning defensive replacements in playoff games. Every manager does it. Every playoff team does it. Every playoff team has depth at those positions. And, the bat has not been there. It's, maybe we'll see it creep up here in the next couple of weeks. But having Shaw off the bench is a luxury. That would be a luxury for the Cubs. That's what you're trying to get to in a year where you've played so well. So that's the goal, right? That's the role Matt Shaw needs to play, and I think the Cubs know that. I don't think I'm preaching. I think I'm preaching to the choir. I think everybody knows that that's where he's best suited to finish the year.
And it may not be priority number one because we still think starting rotation is that. As far as the Brujan thing goes, and I agree, like that's a place they can definitely upgrade the roster. Why didn't Ian Happ play center field? Happ's played center field before. Why not play Happ in center field?
I don't know. That's a good question. I want to say that maybe they looked at how the Royals spray charts look. Maybe they looked at those numbers and said, hey, there's a lot of right-handed bats on this team that like to pull the ball. And they certainly did pull the ball quite a bit tonight. And, you keep your Gold Glover in left field. Yeah. Maybe it has something to do with that. Maybe it has the fact that you wanted to keep a strength to strength, right? Like Happ has been very, very good in left field this year and will be in the running for his 4th straight Gold Glove out there. So maybe that was the idea of it. It provides comfort. Tucker is comfortable in right field now. Happ's comfortable in left. Maybe that helps Seiya adapt in center. That could have been their former thinking, but certainly was strange. And, maybe they just wanted to try it out. Maybe they just wanted to see if Seiya could play center field, and he made a couple nice plays tonight.
I believe he was there in spring training a little bit. So they've kind of floated it around. I think he played at least 1 or 2 Cactus League games, some in center field, not the whole game, but interesting. I think it's interesting that that's how it played out. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect to see Carson Kelly necessarily clean up. That worked out. The home run. And the Justin Turner thing is another spot that you're going to try and figure out here before the end of the season. I still might be surprised if they move on from that, just because I don't know. We'll see what other places we're going to talk about who the Cubs might be willing to part with from the farm system in just a bit. So I want to know in the chat, is there anybody that's untouchable for you in the farm system? You can include Ben Brown as a prospect right now if you want. You can include Matt Shaw as a prospect if that's how you want to. They've been in the major leagues to me, so they're major leaguers.
Yeah, they're not technically prospects anymore.
They're not technically prospects, but you want to include them in the mix of guys that you would talk about that you would be willing to move that are young players for proven talent. We'll get to that in a second. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Hey, baseball fans, if you're thinking of upgrading your drive this season, Toyota's 2025 lineup is definitely worth a look. There's the RAV4, versatile, reliable, always ready for a little adventure. The Highlander, lots of room for the family. Looking for efficiency, check out the Corolla. It's smart, it's stylish, and easy on gas. You need something a little tougher. The Tacoma truck brings serious durability. Finally, the Camry, sleek and packed with performance. Summer starts right here. From adventures to weekend escapes, our versatile lineup is ready to ride with amazing deals to match. So visit your local dealer and find yours today. You can check out the full lineup at Toyota.com. Stop by your local Chicagoland Toyota dealership. Toyota, let's go places. Luke, being a CHGO diehard, is the best. Yeah. Now's the time to do it. Upgrade your fandom today. Exclusive written content, the free t-shirt, discounts on future merch and events. We got a great event coming up on the rooftop. Access your CHGO Discord lounge where we all hang out and talk Chicago sports and so much more. The Discord lounge was crazy today. Go allchgo.com for the latest info and join the thousands of CHGO diehards in our community. We can't wait to connect with you on an even greater level.
I've been paying property taxes in good old Cook County for 20 years.
I'm sorry.
Overpaying for property taxes. Far too many Cook County residents are doing it. You don't have to be one of them. In Cook County, the appeals window will vary by township, closes up rapidly, can be difficult to win. Ownwell is the place that can help you out, and you could sign up in under 3 minutes. In Cook County, Ownwell has a 25% contingent fee, meaning you only pay if your property taxes are reduced. Put property tax money back in your pocket. 86% of Ownwell's customers receive a reduction. No upfront costs, savings, or free guarantee. Only pay if you save. Save money on your Cook County property taxes with Ownwell. Sign up in less than 3 minutes. Start your appeal today at ownwell.com/cook. That's OWNWELL.com/cook. Cubs get clubbed by the Royals 12-4. Cubs led 4-1 and then 11 unanswered runs from the Kansas City Royals. Not a good start to the series against Kansas City, which, well, you better win the next two. We have a Toyota Super Chat here from Alan B. $1.99, is there a scenario where the Cubs become sellers?
No.
Well, they entered this game still with the best record in baseball, tied with the Brewers. I see that currently, as we're recording this live, that the Brewers are yet again winning. They could be on their way to their 11th straight win, and which would then push the Cubs out of first place into second. Cubs would be out of first place for the first time since April 4th, if that happens. So we're looking ahead now. We're thinking, all right, who are the guys the Cubs need to help them get past the Brewers, get to the push, win the division, get to the postseason, and make this a real run? Because this is a team that can do some damage. You don't have the best record in baseball July 20th, July 21st, and not have a good team. They have a good team. Don't be fooled by a loss to the Royals. So, prospect-wise, you found that maybe the top 100 guys wouldn't have to be moved, because all we hear about is Owen Casey. Like, that's who teams are going to want, because a lot of people in the chat, and myself included, are saying, hey, go get me Mackenzie Gore. Go get me Bubic. Go get me Ryan. Go get me Gino Suarez. Mm-hmm. But those will cost prospects and not just nobodies.
Now, those guys that you just mentioned, not Eugenio Suarez,
sure,
but the other pitchers with cost control.
The ones with control.
Those would cost Owen Casey.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. But I want to put prospect trade talk into perspective, because there's far too much discourse online about they're going to gut the farm system. I don't want them to gut the farm system. I don't want them to trade top prospects. Top prospects do get traded at every deadline, except for last year. No top 100 guys were traded at all last year.
Not a single guy in baseball's top 100.
Not one. That was an outlier. Most of the time, top 100 guys get traded. However, the overwhelming majority, the last decade, have been traded from the 50 to 100 mark. The Cubs do not have a top 10 prospect in baseball. They don't have a top 20 guy, not a top 30 guy. Owen Casey is 39. Him and Moises Ballesteros are the top 50 guys that the Cubs have. Now, is it possible they get moved? Yeah, there's been guys who have been in that 20 to 50 range that have been moved at the past couple of deadlines. except for last year's. So it's certainly possible. In 2022, 8 top 100 guys traded. 2023, only 3 were traded. None of the guys in the top 50 were moved in 2023. In 2022, you saw 2 guys moved in that 26 to 50 range. Basically what I'm saying is I can go over all the numbers, give you all the stats. Basically what I'm telling you is it is rare that these guys are moved. And if one is moved...
Especially for a rental.
Correct. And we know that Jed is not going to trade the top prospect that he has for a 1-year player. That's not going to happen. He's going to strong-arm. Jed's not going to get strong-armed into doing that. He didn't do it for Matt Shaw this offseason when Kyle Tucker became available. Now, granted, maybe the Astros didn't want Matt Shaw. Maybe they wanted Cam Smith all along. But there was rumors about, who are they going to trade Matt Shaw? No, because you don't do that for a rental player. And so there's certain things that will covet top prospects. I'm just trying to put in a perspective that the Cubs are not going to, A, gut their farm system, and B, they could very well get 3 really good players at this deadline without giving up Owen Casey and Moises Ballesteros. They might not have to do that. Those guys could very much be a part of the team in the second half and to come, and you could add a guy like Mitch Keller. You could add a guy like Eugenio Suarez. Now, if you want Merrill Kelly and Suarez, we heard John Morosi say today that might cost you Owen Casey, but it's going to be the price will have to meet the demand. And I don't see I think there's far too much worry about, oh my God, they're going to trade every top 100 prospect they have. That's not going to happen. I would be surprised if more than 2 of the Cubs' top 100 prospects were traded at the deadline.
Yeah, I bounce back and forth on this. I obviously want the Cubs to make a play and make this a serious season, which I obviously need some improvements. If Owen Casey is here, then I kind of feel like the Cubs haven't gone above and beyond to go get one of those cost control guys that I think they're going to need because they won't have Steele until late in the season at best case scenario, and you don't know what's going to happen. So if Owen Casey is here, is that actually a signal that the Cubs just kind of went pushing a quarter of our chips in?
Like, that's an interesting take.
It's the flip side of looking at it, right? Like, I want Owen Casey in the farm system, and if you're not going to sign Tucker, I want to get him a shot in the outfield next year. But if he is here, does that mean that the Cubs haven't been aggressive enough in getting the players that will push them definitely past the Brewers, that will push them into a postseason series that they can win and make some noise in the postseason? I don't know. I don't know, but I think that is possible. If you see Owen Casey and Jackson Wiggins both on the roster, well then, who are the guys that they're moving, right?
So you would essentially think that, because it could go one of 2 ways, right? If they don't trade those guys, I see where you're coming from.
They still might be able to get Suarez.
Maybe Jed tried to trade them, but there was nobody on the other line.
That's correct.
But also,
or
it's like,
some
hey,
other team
harder.
was like, you know what? We're going to even one-up that. Like, it just didn't happen. But is it possible that the signal of the Cubs didn't do enough is actually that Casey is here?
Yes, I think so.
If Casey and Alcantara are both on this roster at the end of the trade deadline, it's very possible it will signal that maybe the Cubs didn't get the player that they needed.
Wanted, yes.
Or wanted. We'll have to see. After the offseason he had, there is a possibility that Jed could do some lower-end moves that would be cheaper as far as moving pieces, and that still could be successful. I just would like to see them go do it. Like I've said, I still dream of Gore. I dream of Bubic. I dream of Suarez. And, yes, the Willie Castros of the world I would love to see happen too. But I would like to see the Cubs solve some real problems with real answers.
I think we all would. And I agree with you in the fact that I think a dream trade deadline is Mackenzie Gore. It's Eugenio Suarez. And then, I don't know, Kyle Finnegan. Probably those three.
Sure.
A high-end reliever.
If they do those three, Vidal Brujan can stay on the team. No, I'm being mean to Vidal Brujan, but I'm just saying, like, if they made those three moves, you're not really concerned about who that extra bench bat is, because
not at all.
That would be a major improvement to the Cubs roster. And frankly, we know that we're nitpicking the roster of a team that's one of the best records in baseball, and in reality, you're not going to fix everything. You're just not.
No, but I think you can fix the two things, and I think that there's been enough leaked information to the national guys. You talked about the ESPN article where Jeff Passan was talking about guys who have been listed as trade targets, and man, it does sound like the Cubs really want Eugenio Suarez, man. That article.
But I think the Yankees do too.
Yes, and I think the Brewers also do. We mentioned this yesterday.
Yes.
I think those will be the three teams contending. Now, the Yankees will set the price as they always do. The Cubs will try to match it and hopefully will, and I think the Brewers will say, nah, probably not. Like, that's usually how these things go. The Brewers will pivot to another position. But the Brewers need a bat, man. They're scoring runs and they're winning games and they're playing great ball and they're a great team, but they need more offense. So I think Suarez would be a good fit for them. I think the combo trade of trading a prospect of Owen Casey's magnitude or Moises Ballesteros' magnitude, if they could get a combo of Suarez and Kelly, that's what would get it done. We heard John Morosi mention that today, that he doesn't think Owen Casey is going to be moved unless it's for a guy with control or a combo trade, which means you get two guys in return. I think that's fair. And it makes sense based on what Baseball America wrote today about prospects being traded. It happens. Top 100 guys get moved, but it's not often that they get moved for rentals. And it's even rarer that a guy in the top 50 of all of baseball gets moved. It just doesn't happen all the time.
Well, Gore would cost a lot. We know that.
Gore would cost you probably 2 to 3 top 100 guys from your own system, yes. Plus maybe a major league pitcher. Cade Horton, potentially. Yeah, that would be a lot, but it's worth it. And that he is worth it.
Ben
and the
Brown?
Nationals are taking calls. Oh, yeah, I don't think anybody wants Ben Brown at this moment in time.
I'm not going to go that far because a lot of teams will say he's close. We've seen enough.
Can work on him.
And we can work on him, and that could be a...
And that's not me giving up on Ben Brown,
No,
by the way.
I know.
I think Ben Brown's got a lot in the tank. It's just been a tough year. Regression's hard. Pitching is hard. Baseball is hard. Not every trade candidate you get at the deadline is going to hit.
No.
Guys are going to have up and down seasons. It's just the way it goes. It's been one of those down years for Ben Brown, no doubt about it.
I want to shout out William Ferris. He just became a diehard, and he needs some help with the Discord. So I don't think I have the answers for that one.
How to get the Discord? I just added the app. Gary,
it's an app. Yeah, it's the app, right?
It's the Discord app.
And then because he's a diehard, I'm assuming he just signs in with his account.
Gosh, it's been so long since I did it. I wish I knew the answer to that.
We will figure that out, though, William. We will get.
If anything, Gary will be
find you
your
on
guy.
Twitter. We'll find you on Twitter and give you a definite answer to that, William. Or hit us back on the show tomorrow, and I'll try and find out before the show is over tomorrow.
I had a lot of fun in that chat today, man. Everybody, and this is the exciting time to be in that chat because the Cubs are mentioned in almost every trade proposal out there right now. They're going to add at least 3 players to this team next week. It's an exciting time. They're going to make trades. We know they're going to make trades. So hop in the Discord and chat about it. Send your proposals, even if they're wild and don't make sense. Who cares? It's a fun community to be a part of. I'm upset at myself for not hopping in there earlier. I had a lot of fun today. I was talking to guys for like 2 hours in there today. It was a blast.
John Bone and Gary say the email will include instructions on how to do it.
Perfect. Yeah, it's probably a link, and then you just click and sign in. So I saw you in there today, too. I know you were
I've been in there. I've tried to be in there a little bit this week, and I'll try to be in there more, definitely around the trade deadline. Gary says email gets a link. You create your username, password, boom, and then you can argue back and forth with John Bone and Gary and DFW Susie and everybody that's in there. I can't believe I'm going to say this. It sounds like Rich Hill might start for the Royals tomorrow. give us your favorite Rich Hill memory. But first, don't forget, we have a spot for a word for our sponsors. Stucky, where'd you get those slab packs in my 20s? The answer was sit-ups. Today, the answer is Arena Club. Looking to buy, sell, trade, or rip open a pack of cards, Arena Club is changing the hobby with their transparent slab packs and no auction fees. You got to check out these slab packs. You can rip a pack for as low as $25, hit on a card that's worth tens of thousands of dollars. Every pack has grails that are at least 20 times the price of the pack. Arena Club, the most trusted name in the game. And if you're heading to the 45th Annual National Sports Collectors Convention, make sure you stop by the Arena Club booth. It's all happening July 30th through August 3rd at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center right in Rosemont. Love to go to it. They'll have special promotions available for both new and current customers. Right now, 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/CHGO. Make sure you use that code CHGO.
Upgrade your ride this summer. New vehicles in store at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And this is your chance right now to score a great deal at the Employee Pricing Plus sales event. Right now, lease the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab for $399 a month, only 27 months. Plus, shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000 if you're looking to go a little cheaper. And with Ray's Price Promise, you can shop confidently. No add-ons or hidden fees at any time. The price you see is the price you pay. It's that simple. Go and check out our partner today. And shop one of Chicago's largest inventories. You know exactly where it's at. Don't miss the Employee Pricing Plus sales event, one of the huge saving events of the year on the Ram 1500. The expert team at Ray CDJR is here to help you during each step of your car shopping journey. So again, for more information, it's really simple. Visit Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake up in the Northwest Burbs or online at raycdjr.com.
All right, Cubs lose 12-4. We're looking ahead to the rest of the series, but first a super chat from our guy Joe DiGiacomo for $9.99. Do you think the Cubs can win 11 in a row like the Brewers are about to at some point this season? This is frustrating, men. Yeah, the Brewers at the second that we are talking up 6-0 and looking like they are going to win 11 in a row and kick the Cubs into second place for the first time since April 3rd.
Yeah, the Cubs going into the deadline. The Cubs going into the deadline were 28-19. I believe I think that was in the month of I can't remember what they were 28-19 coming out of like in their last whatever amount of games that adds up to, and they lost 6.5 games in the standings. Like 9 games over. The Brewers they're red hot right now. They're playing great baseball.
Yeah, they're about to win 24-7.
I believe the Cubs can do that too. We can win 11 in a row.
They just have. The Cubs have been way more consistent. The Brewers have been way more up and down, which makes you think that. I mean, I don't believe the Brewers will continue to play at this level.
No.
But if the Cubs don't wake up and have 5 good games now against the Royals and White Sox, which is where the Cubs actually should be building their lead before the Brewers series, that's a problem. Like, you can't be losing any more ground to the Brewers before the Brewers series. I understand you can win it back, but in Milwaukee, listen, you need to make some hay against the Royals and the White Sox right now, and then you know it's a big series when the Brewers series gets here.
I think I like winning series at least this season. I would rather win series than have the consistency or the inconsistency of the roller coaster of the Brewers.
I would rather be
11 straight sounds great, but I want to win series because that's what's going to get us hopefully into playoffs.
The Brewers were bad early in the season. They were. By the way, speaking of the Brewers, before we get to Rich Hill, the LA Times had a piece within the last couple of days, and I believe that the headline was why the small market Brewers might be America's team. Are we serious?
I don't know. Sounds like trying to make themselves feel better about getting swept twice.
It's clickbait. Save yourself. It's got to do with a salary cap and whether it's good for baseball, yada yada yada. They've been to the playoffs 6 of the last 7 years. I'm willing to tip the cap. The Brewers have been a successful team. They've been better than the Cubs in consistency. They've also won nothing.
Yeah, they haven't won a playoff series since 2018.
2018. Have they ever won a championship? No. So stop with the America's team. Have you seen how Cubs fans travel? Whether they're good or bad, have you seen how Cubs fans show up on the road? That is America's team.
I would agree. Not going to get an argument out of me there.
I don't ever turn on a baseball game and go, wow, look at the thousands and thousands of Brewer fans that have taken over that opposing ballpark. It doesn't happen. Stop with the America's team. It was a ridiculous article. That's what we've come to. They've been to six of the 7 years they've been in the playoffs, and they've won absolutely nothing. And that will continue again this year. Just wait. Rich Hill. Shout out to Obvious Shirts. Rich Hill is going to pitch. He's 45 years old. He made his debut with the Cubs on June 15th, 2005. I was covering the Cubs. That was my first year credentialed as a Cubs reporter.
Seriously? Wow.
Rich Hill. So those would have been the first couple of months that I would have been, I covered spring training and stuff that year, but as far as season goes, that was early into my Cubs credentialed years. Rich Hill came into the game as a relief pitcher. The lineup from Obvious Shirts is awesome. Have you seen the guys in it? Nafi Perez leading off, Corey Patterson in center, Derek Lee at first, Jeremy Burnitz in right, Aramis at third, Todd Walker at second, my old teammate Todd Hollinsworth in left, my guy Michael Barrett catching, and Greg Maddux was the starting pitcher for that game.
What a lineup.
That is a long, sometimes it doesn't feel like a long time ago to me. Sometimes it feels like yesterday. But then I look at the list of those players and go, wow, that is a long time ago. Rich Hill has played for 14 teams. He has played in every single season from 2005 to 2025. That's what will happen when he makes this outing tomorrow against the Cubs. He's played for the Cubs, the Orioles, the Red Sox, Cleveland, the Angels, the Yankees, the A's, the Dodgers, the Twins, the Rays, the Mets, the Pirates, the Padres, and now the Royals.
And if he's good tomorrow, I will be upset that the Cubs have thrown Colin Ray, Ben Brown, and a bunch of bullpen guys to start their every fifth day instead of going out to get him. I guarantee you there will be fans on Twitter, I will be one of them, saying, hey, you know what? Maybe this was a better option than
Finnegan
trying
and
to
Hill
start.
Were cheap, yeah.
Good for Rich Hill, man. He must have a man. His wife must be.
He's got the potion. He's either using Mando whole body deodorant, or he's using some kind of super potion. Whatever the Brewers have, that's what he's got. 20 years. Yeah. I remember the day. I can't remember if it was in Atlanta or if it was in Milwaukee or St. Louis, the day he found out he was being sent down and basically being let go from the Cubs. And he was crushed, just crushed by the news because he had only been with the Cubs. And to look at what this guy has done with his career, at one point having the yips and throwing it to the backdrop over and over and over. But when he was called up that day in June and you watched that off-speed curveball, you were like, wow. This guy could be something, and it's led to a long career. The path didn't go just like we're talking about Ben Brown right now. The path wasn't linear, didn't go the way everybody thought it was going to go, but he's had a long, long career.
Yeah, some of my first Cubs memories were 2004, 2005, and 2006 because I would have been a young child at that point, and my first game was in 2006, and Rich Hill was obviously on that team.
Yeah.
I remember him being a huge part of that 2007 team that won the NL Central. And looking at his numbers from that year, he was outstanding. He almost had 200 strikeouts that year in 2007 for the Cubs. He had an outstanding season. Oh, yeah. That was by far his best year with the Cubs because then he battled some injuries the next year and only started 5 games. And so you got to tip your cap to guys like this, and it just shows you love something and you're not afraid to take steps back in your career and say, I got to keep earning it, and I just want to keep doing it. I think I can keep doing it. He's
45.
It's pretty inspirational though. It's cool. I'm happy that he's doing something he loves. That's cool, man. That's the power of baseball, and really, Any career, if you want to keep doing what you're doing and you're good at it and it brings you joy, heck yeah, man, keep doing it. I think it's awesome. And shout out to his family for being, so probably accommodating. Can you imagine that? 20 straight years of 160 games of baseball and spring training and off-season workouts and stuff. I mean, that's special stuff.
Corey likes him, of course, because he's a University of Michigan guy. But I just think back to early days covering the Cubs and Rich Hill being there and that moment when he found out. I'm just happy for him that the path went from that to what it has turned out to be. Now, I hope I have this sinking feeling in my stomach that he will deal against the Cubs. And I have this sinking feeling that it's not going to go well for the Cubs tomorrow, which is why I was so disappointed in the way this went tonight with the 11 unanswered runs.
Why do you think it's going to go bad? The Cubs have never had problems with lefties.
Yeah, right. Soft-throwing lefties. I have that feeling because of history and because of what Lou Piniella used to say, Cubby occurrences. And 2016 erased a lot of the Cubby occurrences, but it'd be very Cubby occurrence worthy of having Rich Hill coming in and shove for like 5 innings tomorrow.
I can't remember who I saw use that phrase on Twitter this week.
Cubby occurrences?
Yeah, I saw it. Might have been George Hoffman.
It was one of Lou's greats.
It might have been George Hoffman. I can't remember, but somebody said the Cubbies are having a Cubby occurrence right now, and that brought me back. It's Rich Hill, man. What a career. Making your debut and outlasting. I don't know what the longest career is in Major League Baseball. Off the top of my head, I don't know, but this guy
pitching at 45.
He's been there since I've been a fan of baseball. I think that's pretty cool.
That's wild.
It's pretty cool.
I remember even back in the old NBC days, they used to have like athlete pictures because the teams were all part owners, and so you had these large photographs just all up and down the hallways. And I remember it was probably like 2015. We were walking down the hallway from a meeting or something, and somebody who covered a lot of baseball was like, Rich Hill was on the Cubs? And I was like, yeah, yep. I know. Yes, that's where he started. But, man, he's had such a long career. I think people forget he even pitched for the Chicago Cubs. So we're going to see him tomorrow. It's against Matthew Boyd. And if the Cubs have had a stopper, let me tell you, that guy's been Matthew Boyd this season.
So
he's been their guy. And so they're going to hand it to Boyd tomorrow. And I just hope that if Rich Hill's shoving, Matthew Boyd is one step better.
So I'm just a quick segue on the Rich Hill thing. Nolan Ryan, Cap Anson, both threw for 27 seasons. Played for 4 franchises, 3. And Rich Hill is, this will be his 21st season. There's a lot of guys on this list. Randy Johnson played for 22 years. Jim Thome played for 22 years. Willie Mays played for 23 years. Hank Aaron, 23 years. Carl Yastrzemski, 23 years. There's a lot of guys with long careers on here.
It's pretty crazy for a pitcher, though, for the arm not to fall off after all those years. Now, what the Royals are hoping is, yes, indeed, he has a good game against the Cubs, and then maybe one more appearance, and somebody will take a flyer and give him a prospect. That's what the Royals are hoping for. Or the Royals are hoping he's going to be on yet another team next year, and even this season, because they're hoping he's good enough against the Cubs that they can say, hey, wouldn't you like to give us a single-A player for Rich Hill?
Or maybe they brought him up because they know they're going to trade a guy here in a week, and they needed a starting pitcher. Who knows?
Maybe Bubic is about to be traded.
Yeah, we need another lefty. Where's Rich Hill? What a story. Good for him.
That idea. Good for him. Cubs lose 12-4. We'll forget about it. We'll flush it after tonight. Back here for a post-game show tomorrow, full hour, right here on the CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. If you're listening in podcast form, thanks for listening. Make sure you rate, review, give us the thumbs up, all those things. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we appreciate everybody that was in on the live YouTube chat tonight. Wasn't a great game, but we still had fun afterwards talking about trade stuff. And we'll probably do more of that tomorrow because that's what we're going to do for a good week or so. Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast. Until next time, thanks for watching, and fly the W.
We all silly like the mayor.